Hi guys, I'm Stephen Pardo. I'm founder of SN Battle Reports. We're a group of now 5 local Gibraltarians, and we basically are based in the fantasy game Warhammer 40,000. SN Battle Reports was started 3 years ago. SN standing for Stephen and my good friend Nick Rodriguez. Since I was very young, there was a magazine, which there still is a magazine, called White Dwarf, and they used to report on the battles the same as we do now. They stopped doing the whole battle reports into the magazine for a couple of years, and I thought I should incorporate it again. But everything was really nicely painted and the terrain looked really nice, and we just wanted to match it as close as possible. And since the last 3 years, it's just gone bigger and bigger and bigger to a whole new level, which we never even imagined it could get to. SN started as just a Facebook page, and it was really out of the blue. I said, Nick, let's do a battle report and let's put it onto social media and see what it brings. And I remember uploading our first battle report, and suddenly we had like 10 likes. Then a couple of hours later it was 20 likes, 30 likes, and I remember going to the cinema that day and finishing the cinema and was like, Nick, we've got 100 and something likes on the Facebook page, and we've just been a couple of hours. Maybe this actually works. And from then on we posted, I think, a battle report every week or every 2 weeks, and the figures got bigger and bigger and bigger. And at the moment we've got 10,000 followers on Facebook. We've got, I think, 7,000 followers on Instagram, and there were so many people actually contacting us and saying, I haven't got Facebook, but I do want to read your reports. And we ended up doing our own website about a year ago, and that's about it. So now we have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and our own website. So basically, wargaming is a tabletop game. The best way to describe it is, you all know the board game Risk. Imagine that in a bigger scale. So you have ruins or townhouses or woods, and you play with armies. You have 2 players, and each of you control an army and command it. There's a very big community at the moment. It's the social, I think, social aspect of the hobby. Everybody's into it. Everybody either collects, paints it, or plays it. To start off a report, you need 2 people for sure, but it's always better to have 3 of the team here, one taking the photographs and taking the pointers from the battle, whilst the other 2 actually play. After that, you just choose 2 armies, choose a board, and start playing. What we normally do, as you see a lot on YouTube, normally the guys are just video capturing the whole event and all the dice rolls and all that, but we do it slightly different. We're picture-based, so we try and portray a story. It's a turn-based game, so we actually taking photos of the best bits of every turn and actually give a bit of information of what's actually happening, at the same time turning it into a story. The Warhammer universe is massive, no? There's loads of different races, there's loads of history of how it all started. So the word fluff, which we use a lot, is actually something that gives a story out of any of the different legions or armies that there is, and there's always there's loads of background of different wars that they had, or different battles, or different characters. So there's always something which you can get out of either here or there and make it into a battle report. So now we're going to do a battle report. We're going to do a skirmish style battle report, so it's smaller based. You won't see bigger armies, but you'll see more of a patrol type thing. We have the Space Marines, which is a very well-known army. It's one of the first ones that came out and everybody knows, and they'll be fighting the Chaos rivals, so Chaos Space Marines, which have like a demon feel to it as well.
Hi, I'm Julian from SN Battle Reports. About to have a little skirmish game against my friend here, Chris. We've got our 2 armies now deployed. I'll be in control of the Space Marines over there, painted up as a chapter called Imperial Fists. Chris will be using the arch rivals, the Chaos Space Marines, painted up in a red Corsair scheme. And I'm about to kick off. I've got first turn, so we'll see how it goes. When you're playing the game, often we kind of like immerse ourselves a bit into the story or what's actually happening. Because, for instance, these guys over here, they're called Terminators. In reality, well, they've just appeared on the board, but in the book they have context of how that happens. You know, they teleport from an Imperial spaceship that's above in the skies, and they've located this area and they've come down to add support to the remaining forces. You've got characters and heroes here who, you know, they're legendary names, much more powerful in every aspect to the regular Marines, and they offer buffs and support and, you know, have their own ways of fighting and improving the army itself. The game's over now. Basically ended up what's called tabling games. I've wiped out his entire forces. Normally what would happen is when the game ends, you calculate how many points each player has per side and you compare it then. Now at this stage, Stephen would take the photographs he's been taking all day back to his computer, where he'll upload them, filter through them, cipher through the ones he wants to keep, lay it out in an order, put down the notes that he's been taking along with those photos. So we have numerous writers, and then we'll go and we'll start going through each of the photographs and start basically expanding on what is actually going on in the game and try and get a story in between it, and where, you know, where readers can engross and get themselves immersed into it.
The glorious Imperial fists and wretched legion of the Red Corsairs square up on the battlefield. Taking control of the left flank, the Hounds of Huron rev their bikes ready to zoom up and get into the thick of fighting. With the precision expected from the Sons of Dawn, they emerge from the containers and spread out, forming a well-trained gun line. The captain looks on as the second squad follow suit and kill over half of the cultists in a hail of gunfire. Looking to close the gap quickly, the cultists advance up no man's land. Huron advances forward, getting into range for his psychic powers. Casting Smite, he tears into their souls, ripping them from the mortal plane. The three cultists decide to charge into the captain, the renegades swinging their weapons wildly as they approach the Imperial Fist warlord. The captain then attacks back, cleaving through his enemies. The captain forges ahead towards Huron Blackheart, prepared to slay the demon warlord, driving his relic blade deep into Huron. A deep cackle leaving the lips of the warlord before he drops to his knees. Another Imperial victory.
After 2 years in SN becoming so big and so popular and world-renowned, as we say it, we thought Gibraltar was a perfect location to run an event. But there were so many different Warhammer events around, and especially in UK, that we wanted to be different. And by different, we meant we wanted it to be a hobby weekend more than a competitive event. So we decided to go with our event, especially called No Retreat, where players have to apply for it. So we've had applications from all over the world. I think there's 16 countries have been represented already, and we do 2 a year, and people love it. Hi guys, welcome to No Retreat Gibraltar, the most exclusive Warhammer event on the planet. We have 12 countries being represented and 42 players battling out for the title. So we have a 2-day event. The players have flown over from all over the world to see who is the No Retreat champion.
My name is Lawrence Baker. I run a YouTube channel called Tabletop Tactics, which also has a website, and we pretty much cover the game of Warhammer 40,000. It's a gaming channel. We film miniature war games, so it's a little bit different to your standard computer games, but it's pretty cool because it's got a really good social element to it. You play with someone else in the room. Sometimes you can have multiple players. And it's kind of like a really advanced game of chess where you roll the dice, but there's also a painting element, a hobby element as well. And we film these games and go to tournaments, like I'm here in Gibraltar now at the No Retreat tournament, and that's pretty much what we do. So I started playing war games when I was about 10, actually. I was very young. Pretty much got into it with one of my friends. Went down to a local store. I was given a demo game and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Started playing for a few years, and then I went to school and university, dropped off for a while, and then I trained as an actor, and I actually decided, you know what, it would be kind of cool to actually see if I can create my own show, rather than just wait for my agent to call me, for like an audition or something. So I created the show and started playing again, and 3 years later, here I am. I've been doing it for about 3 years now. We're just shy of 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is crazy. So we're really lucky with that. The website's going well. We've also got an Instagram presence and Facebook. And they kind of all tie in together, you sort of use Facebook and Instagram to post pictures of the miniatures that we're painting, and then we use the YouTube for the actual video content. With battle reports, you actually film the game. Games on average take about 2.5 hours in a typical setup. The key thing which makes it interesting to look at, I guess, is it's kind of like watching football or any sort of sports match. Generally, the two skilled opponents really try and try and work out what the other's doing and use some tactical maneuvering to actually win the game. So it becomes quite exciting to watch, and that's pretty much the bread and butter of what we do in the battle reports. We create exciting scenarios. Two generals smash each other on the battlefield, and we see who the winner is. Well, yeah, so I mean, going full-time, doing any sort of vlogging or YouTubing or social media thing full-time is generally a dream come true for most people, because it is hard to get into and get the following and everything. It just happens that the community for things like Warhammer 40,000 is so interested in the gaming side of it, and there's such a loyal fan base that hobbyists really get into supporting the content creators that create this content for them on YouTube. So yeah, as I say, I've been doing it for 3 years, and the subscribers came very quickly, and I was able to go full-time and hire some staff pretty much within the last 12 months. One of the things which is really important when filming like a battle report or anything that we really do when vlogging this is to have a really, really nice standard of terrain. That's something that they do really well here at the No Retreat 6 tournaments. So you want everything painted, you want the miniatures to look good and presentable, and you want to have a good amount of scenery on the boards to make it look as realistic as possible, because that adds to the environment, because there is a narrative element to the game as well. So future plans are to expand, of course. I'm looking at taking on a couple of other staff members, so there will be 5 of us, hopefully within the next 2 years. They'll all be full-time as well. And then I think, hopefully we'll be in a larger studio, we'll do a lot more events and run our own tournament as well. So that's something exciting to look forward to. So the future's bright. Gibraltar is an amazing location, and it happens to be the home of SM Battle Reports. And they host the No Retreat tournament, which is now my 6th time being here, which is amazing. I've been very lucky coming to all 6, and I've won the first 3. So I'm back again to try and reclaim my title. So this tournament here at No Retreat 6, I'm bringing the Elder Army, which are a very powerful, sort of fast-moving army, quite resilient, have a lot of firepower, and I've played 2 games already. First game was really tough, did manage to win it, and then went on to win my 2nd game against 2 very different armies. So far that sort of speed and maneuverability is working really well, but it's an army you have to think about, so I have to be careful to not make any mistakes, otherwise I could lose everything very quickly. I think it's going to be the 4th title, yeah.
In a million years did I think we would get to where we are now. So what next? Really, I'm happy with where we are now. I've met so many people, so it's just a matter of just carry on doing what we're doing and hopefully do bigger events maybe in the future.